Hello everybody and welcome to part 29 of my God King Boudicca series. Before we get started, one thing I had failed to consider is once we settle Limerick, we have wine coming. You can see the worker will get on it right away. Plantation will take 3 turns, whereas we'll have Bratislava uh, for another 10. So let's go ahead, since this guy has some money for a change, and get some money from him. And then we'll put our focus down here and say next turn. Ooh, lots going on. Alright. So I think the first thing we should address is the great scientist. We'll go ahead and let the game know we're going to go into industrialization after radio and hit the bulb. Now we are in radio, so let's go ahead and kill stock exchange. We'll say Eiffel Tower. That's 25 turns. We'll send this to Edinburgh for production. Down to 22 turns, and then we'll finish this chop. Okay, still down to 22 turns. But we do grow in 1, at which point we'll be able to occupy this tile, so that's plus 4 hammers before multipliers. Also, a spy has been recruited, so we're going to move that over to Iffy, since they're in our backyard, and we don't want to risk them turning against us, since we're pretty much scattered all over the world. Aberystwyth grows, and does not have a specialist slot yet. So let's go into Cork, who actually just finished workshop this turn. So we'll take off of this tile to populate that, so that way Aberystwyth can take that tile and work it for the time being. In fact, when it comes time for the workshop, we'll probably pull from this tile, but we will see as we get nearer to that. So that's been addressed. Borders of Berlin grow. Okay, that's not one we were hoping for. So not much else to say there. We already addressed that. Great musician is born, so we will send him this way. Oh, another thing I meant to mention. As far as where our optional settlers are going, I had identified that over here is some fertile land, over here is some fertile land, and then I said, oh, we could park in like Aberystwyth, and then we can go either way. And then when we put out the second one, I was like, oh, we'll have one wait over here, one wait over here. But there is another fertile area that we haven't touched, and that's down here. Not as fertile, but nevertheless, a city planted like even here would become a circus city. This doesn't, it's 4th ring to Copenhagen, so this would be a circus city, and we could, go in there. So for this reason, I think I'd like to have this settler come this way. And now he's out of the Great Musician's Path, so we'll do that. So that's something I wanted to mention as well. Wine to Pakal ended. Alright, so if I had been more observant, I would have been able to see that that was a reason to sell off the wine we had. But luckily we sold it to the guy who was willing to pay us a good amount while we had it. Okay, so as far as the wine goes, let's do Haley instead. There we go. Alright. Workers, everybody's handled. Lots of build projects. Nance is finished with the zoo. So we will start on public school. Workshop was done in Cork, which we addressed as far as this goes, but we do want to... Now keep in mind, this city is only offsetting 5 local... is only providing 5 local happiness, so we have a lot of happiness to make up for. We could go amphitheater into Cayley Hall just to make that as high as possible, but we're only a few turns from this. So since the city does have jungle tiles, I say let's go ahead with the university. Now in Aberystwyth, we probably will begin to pursue the Cayley Hall and see where we end up. Library is done in Ramsey, so we'll get on to the market. And Limerick has finished with the shrine, so we will get on to library. Alright. Bombard only has one option, so we'll just take it. Okay. And he... we have some options here, don't we? Alright, as far as options go, this guy should definitely hit here. And this guy should hit here. And let's have the Great General step here to influence this hex, and we'll push in. I'm confident in doing that because we've been killing some of his units, and we're now in pillage territory with a worker in tow. So that's where I'm coming from with that. And now the Great General backs up to here with the well, maybe not. Covering him seems to be a good idea. I was going to say with the expectation that we're going to finish this guy off, so leaving him exposed like that is not a problem. About 58, about 56, so we could low roll there. We should at least take one shot. Alright, what will these guys do? About 34. So the two of them together should be able to take this out. So the question is, do I still leave the Great General here, or do I back him up to here to influence both shooters to kind of seal? Because this is with 50% or 15. No, it's not showing that. Oh, because he's not actually within range, but this guy is. Okay, so the 34 we were seeing. Okay, so that should be fine. We'll step there, shoot there, and now we've eliminated everybody. Great General's fine where he's at, and that allows this guy to fortify. We'll take the worker and restore the cotton. The happiness didn't go up, but that's just a graphical glitch. Can't seem to trigger it. There it is, 10. Okay, I'm not sure. It seemed to go by itself as I was going along. Alright, so we're done here. I believe this was the turn we were going to declare war on Germany as well, right? Because this guy is about to elude our capture. And the only one we can anticipate giving us anything for attacking Germany would be Portugal. So I'm not going to bother shop around. Everybody hates us. So, and Germany's not posing a threat, so there's no reason to suspect anybody would. So we'll just take this guy and say we'll move him one at a time for visibility's sake until this point, and then try that. We're not going to lose anything from doing it, so let's just go for it. There we go, plus one worker over there. And now we have this to contend with. Something I hadn't been considering before is that this guy is a double tapper. So let's have this Great General, because over here there's nothing going on yet. So let's have this Great General step up to here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll get double tap. 1, 2. And we should be able to finish that off, taking a little bit of damage. And there we go, plus 2 workers. And now the Great General can go back. So we're plus 2 workers in this vicinity. He was coming down because Cork and Berlin might have stuff to do. Berlin has already cast its vote against us. So looks like here, 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's also road here to consider. Yeah. So we can come all the way to here, 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 here. I don't think it much matters, as long as we're out of the way of all the other civilians. Speaking of which, hey, they didn't cause a traffic jam, so that's nice. There's nothing over here for us to act upon, and we don't actually want to push into his land. So this guy is coming down. Right? This guy is double tap, and this guy is double tap, and that's really all we need as far as attacking this. In fact, Goa is going to get the benefit of having our stronger versus flatland guy coming in, so that should be a little expedited. Okay, so we'll bring this guy in. Don't know where yet, so I'll back him off here so that he can come here and he can occupy this hex. And there's the road stem finished. We'll bring the next musketman down this way. Makes sense. And then we're going to have 3 musketmen coming up here. 1 to act as a blocker for Goa, 2 to act as a blockers versus anything that gets sent our way from Braga. And we're already going to have 2 down here, and we don't expect Germany to have much. So we'll send him this way. Looks like he got blocked by this, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. And then this one's coming up, right? Up, yeah. Whew, I'm glad that's finished. And I failed to notice that this was darkness, so I guess this is where this guy wants to stay. Let's put him at slower to react position, but that's okay. And let's finally get these roads finished. That tile should have been last turn. But like I said, 2 blockers in Braga, 1 going for Goa. One of the musketmen arriving late should be fine. Okay, he's fully healed. And I think next turn the worker's going to want to come up and repair the aluminum. We got credit for the full stack of aluminum even though it's pillaged. So I'm not even sure what that's about, but for as long as that says more than 1, we're just going to pre-build the trading post there since there's nothing else to do. Chop this down, Penzance. Maybe picks up that instead. We'll come here to do that. And here is our caterpillar. Whoops! I'm glad it didn't let me actually execute that command. I hope the boats don't get in our way for longer than that 1 turn. Alright, so we'll bring the musketman over first. Camp is gone, which doesn't really tell us much, but let's see. We wanted him to wait there because he's the one that's going to be answering the call of the jungles here. Only one of these can get started on the wine right away, so we'll put him there, and then this one can, either one of them could have done the freshwater farm. Okay. He's waiting. He's dancing like this because it gets us all the visibility we could want deep in here. And then I guess we'll put the focus over here because this is really all that's going to be interesting. We don't have to worry about the German war. Oh, okay, so whatever. Worker, you know, if you kill the unit, I don't think it should give you that, oh, we're in danger, but I guess I understand why it happens that way. Denounced by Portugal. Oh, denounced by the Mayans. Or the Inca. Alright, so that's unfortunate. Kind of knew that would have been coming, but it's actually happened now. Okay, city connection established with Carthage, who is starving. Down another population, I love it. That's so good. Alright, and we'll come over here to repair that. Ooh, okay. So let's see, we'll have him come to here and can reach, which means splat, and both get some XP. Good deal. Growth in Ren. So we'll go here, 10, down to 8. Market is done. So let's get on a circus here. This city will actually be 7 pop by the time we can build circus and coliseum. So that might actually be what we end up doing. We'll have to see once we get the next policy. Swansea grows, which is a little bittersweet. You know, we have what am I trying to say here? Bittersweet. I don't even remember. Oh, right, the religious flip. Okay, now we're at 2 pop and it didn't flip fast enough. That's okay. We still have, what, 2 more turns before we can purchase again anyways. So, hey, borders of Cork have grown, right where the worker is standing. So let's get on that. Once the university is up, we can borrow some of these jungles too, which is nice because that means then the fact that Berlin can't grab them. So that was, yeah, I think it was definitely the right call to go ahead and put Cork on the university path. Let's see, we'll work this tile. I know this one looks tempting, but the moment we claim it for our own, it loses the science, so it's the same as this, obviously. Or maybe not so obvious, I don't know. I'm not trying to be rude. Edinburgh has grown, so there we go. It said 22 last turn, so it should say 21. Picking this up means it is now 19, so we sped up 2 turns by claiming that. That's fantastic. So there's that. Zanzibar declared war on Bismarck, declared war on Harold Bluetooth. So we just flipped them, right? Because of, yeah, we're only going to have that for 4 turns. Excuse me, only porcelain for 4 turns, so got to keep in mind our happiness is about to dip. Alright, I think this is, yeah, we already addressed that, we killed it. Public Portugal has announced you, and the Inca have denounced you, so let's repair that now. In this case here, we're going to want to tell her off and denounce her at some point. But that point is yet to come, and what we can do right now is actually check in and see how much longer we have on that. If we absolutely insist on preserving our caravan, we'll have to wait 9 turns, which is not that long. Okay, now the exciting stuff. Let's choose an ideology. Freedom is what I'm going with, for the reasons I've kind of touched on throughout the last few episodes. We come here, and all great people born, increased by 25%. That includes musicians, which is what we're most interested in. And then specialists consume only half the amount of food. So again, every citizen consumes 2 food. So when it says consumes a normal amount, that means only consumes 1. So now it's going to be as if every specialist slot is also +1 food. So we take that, yes. And now a second tier is available, which you can see universal suffrage. Specialists in city produce half the normal amount of happiness. Golden Age is 50% longer. It sucks that we won't have that until we're out of Golden Age, but I don't think it's retroactive anyways. But nevertheless, this is why we've been going around being all specialist happy. And you can see here 3, 6, so it's like we gained 6 food, which out of 16 is a 60% increase in food. Here we have 3 from there, that's a 75% increase in food. Here's 5 from 6, that's 14 times 5, 90% increase in food, more or less, close. I don't know if it's exact. 3, so there's a 100% increase in food. 3, that's a 150% increase in food. 3, that's 50% increase in food. 5, that's what, 63% increase in food. 3, that's a 100% increase in food. And we only just got the 1, so that's only 11%. But that's its first specialist slot. Sign delegates, we have to choose a host. Just as a goof, let's choose the Celts. See what happens. See if that gives us a handicap for the rest of the game. Chop there, and now Penzance will indeed always choose that tile. So that's why we came there. It's a little bit better than this one. But yeah, these 2 would also be good for us. Okay, I believe that's everything on the worker side. No prompts here, that's good. So let's do this. Bombard can only reach 1. So I'm going to take it. And if I step this guy up and shoot here, he will be exposed to this one, but it puts him in our border so that subsequent turns when we heal, we can do something like that. And same thing here, if I step him up and shoot, then that means next turn we can step sideways and hit the city tile, assuming we can see the city tile. So we'll hit that. There we go, there's our worker back. And he'll come here to capture that worker. And I'm really considering just capturing the Great Merchant because we can. Although, Galeas, Trebuchet, Bombard, anything that stands within range of this thing is going to get hit 4 times. Neither of these musketmen can handle that, so I'm going to back off here. Down here, we're just going to say pillage. He's not Pac-Man, but he can be Pac-Man. We're only going to get 1 tile a turn, but let's gobble up what we can, right? Okay, so I'll move him here. And I'll just keep the Great Worker with him because eventually we're going to get in range in a way that's meaningful. Maybe, I don't know how much longer we're going to be doing all this. But I'll have the Great General back up now so he influences all of our shooters. And hopefully we can take this thing out as well. We did. Fantastic. And keep in mind, with all these civilians being dangled, we'll still get XP shooting at them. So as long as we can see them, we'll be shooting at them. And unfortunately, that means this guy might never be able to heal because we might constantly be stepping forward. Although for right now, the workers got us covered on that front. Let's check here. Still more greater than 1, so we'll go like that. But that's going to be the last turn, it looks like. He's ready to just chill. And let's see what we got here. We'll push forward here. Okay. So what I'll do is... He's a double tapper with range. Hoo-wee, look at that. Alright, so great general, get your butt down here. Just covers him. Nice. Pew, pew. Alrighty. So we can just push in, right? Yeah, might as well, right? Okay. So we will move this guy like this, so he can step and shoot next turn. Worker comes down, starts a road tile. He can come over here, so that we'll get in on the side here. Look at our people go. You know, when I declared war here, I never even considered the possibility that one of our city-state allies could take over Hamburg. So we might want to get these ranged into position and just start wailing on the city tile. Let them capture it. We won't get the penalty for wiping out a civ, and then we'll actually get the cocoa for ourselves on top of everything. That would be cool. Alright. Plus, we'd have a better buffer, because then the whole reason we started this war is to kill his units, so that as we step off to the Shoshone and the Mayans, we won't have units in our backyard, and now we won't even have the potential for units here, which will give us a greater wall buffer against Portugal when it comes time to unload against them. So now I'm really, really hoping that that's what happens. And we can see has a lot of melee, so that might just be the thing. Okay. Anyways, musicians moving along. This worker wants to chop down to expedite the... Well, not necessarily. Dublin's going to pick that up in 11. These two tiles are just as likely to be Truro as they are Edinburgh. This tile is more likely to be Dublin than Edinburgh, so there's not even a guarantee any of this could be. Alright. And we're very barren with workers down here as we're coming upon coal, so we might need to rectify that. We did just capture a bunch of workers. Maybe start sending them down this way is a thing to do. But he's definitely going to want to do that. Settlers just coming over. Okay, should be safe-ish there. Alright. What else? So yeah, we haven't decided what to do with this worker. No, that's probably going to be Dublin as well. It's closer to Dublin anyways. I don't see any place we can chop that'll be likely to contribute to Edinburgh. Except for this one, obviously, but that would be taking a faith away. I don't think that's worthwhile. This is a hill, so we should think about that. This is also a hill, we should think about that. And let's see, we know that we'll have that in 11 turns. So I think going away from Dublin for the time being makes sense, because we can maybe have time to chop this, and then go do that. Alright, so moving our caterpillar along. Please don't get in our way again. It's kind of nice that one begets visibility for the others. Alright, we'll come up here. Oh, look at that. Alright, and I'm just occupying this to take up as many hexes, because keep in mind, our worker is leading the settler, so the worker's going to want to be able to push through here as the settler lands here. So occupying both of these tiles so he can't makes sense to me. Over here, extra worker. Alright. So we could have this worker aiding in what's going on over here, like start building a road here so that people can get over here quicker. Obviously it's not going to be in time, but when it comes time to retreat, maybe. I don't know. We're not going to be doing too much retreating though, so I'm not sure, but nevertheless it's something for the worker to do that's meaningful. Pardon me, took a quick break there. So I'll have the worker start a road here, here, and here perhaps. and then we'll have him come up here for visibility's sake. Make sure there's no barbarian camps, because we are about to send a couple of ranged in that direction. So let's do that now. Ranged is coming over. Ranged is coming over. He... Single cover, no cover. Alright, so he should be Goa. And then he can be the first of Braga defense. He'll be the other. So right now we just want to heal him up. So we might as well put him here. And we got plenty of workers back here for anything we might imagine. So we'll, like I said, we're a little barren in the south. So let's start justifying some workers that way. We're extra up here, kind of. Well, we were extra here, but I guess that's been sorted. We're extra here. So yeah, we're already got the thorax covered. So we should be moving people, workers to the south. Alright, we're going to pick up the horse in 2. So let's come here, rip up that road, save a little money, develop the stone, come here, something like that. Alright, so he's coming over like so. And next turn. So this is pretty much nothing to watch there. I'm more interested in what happens in Germany now that the possibility of our city-states taking over is something we're aware of. Alright. Alright, we expected that. Kiev wants Taoism. Okay. So Germany killed with the pikemen, and then retaliated, killing their pikemen with the pikemen, and Almaty is definitely coming over. So that's really good. Yep, triple. That way we can get into some of the more betterer ones. May purchase with faith. So have we done Limerick anything yet? Mosque? Yeah. Alright. And what's next? Swansea, which has not flipped, but might. Should we pool it? Oh, wait, it says 500. We couldn't do that if we wanted to, could we? Huh. Do civilians cost less? Is that what it is? Oh, great profit. I gotcha. Okay, so periodically we're going to get this, which really sucks, because that means on the following turn, if we fail to notice that, we'll actually be pulling faith when we don't mean to. So that's something I'm going to have to keep an eye on. I'm not sure how I'm going to remind myself about that, but we'll figure something out. Copenhagen demands silver, which is nice. We're going for it. Glasgow demands silver. Cotton. We have a worker standing on... Well, we will have a worker standing on cotton, so that'll be almost instant gratification. Dublin. Celts remain host. Okay. Monaco and Japan no longer allies. Kiev wants Taoism. Alright. Here's Kiev, and so depending on if we need settlers to settle coal and how much happiness we get from our policy, we might just settle up here anyways, because once Swansea flips, anything we settle here should flip just a little bit quicker, and then we'll get Kiev in the mix. They also want culture, which we'll have in 12 turns, so we really should make an effort towards that, depending on how much happiness allows. That's something our extra worker or 2 could do if we end up going that route. I already know what that's all about. Alright, so workers, there's wine, and that should put us at having 2, which includes the Bratislava, which means we should not trade it at this point. Kind of like what we were doing before when I failed to realize the other stuff. And this is the only other worker to address right now. Construction projects. Public school is finished in Glasgow, so let's... Growth in 6, it should stay the same because of our ideology. So there we go, still growth in 6. And we can get on a stock exchange now. Public school finished in Truro. This one's really going to hurt because we're going to go from 2 food to 1. So growth in 10, growth in 13. Interesting. I wouldn't have expected... Oh yeah, because we were... Okay. The difference in 1 food isn't... There's only 1/6, so 14% or something. Anyways, public school's finished being built here, so we're on to stock exchange still, because 12 pop we would want zoo, but we're not going to have that in time. So we'll do that. Okay, we'll do that and that for now. I want to look at Germany. This is really interesting. Alright. So we have a worker coming in. Finishes the road stem now if we want. Or we could just step forward to be ready to repair once we pillage here. We don't want to pillage this turn though, because he would be our lightning rod, assuming he shoots at us at all, because that would allow us to move our people in, like so. Unfortunately, we can only hit the city tile. We would love to be able to hit his units instead, but maybe this expedites somebody else capturing, and if that happens, then all his units will be killed anyway, so I guess it's good enough. Great General can reach all the way to there, even before we finish the road. Interesting. Okay, well, we'll do that anyways. We would have stopped here if we could have, but the worker's there right now, as you can tell. What we can do is come here and here, because he does have a worker here. That increases our chances of being able to intercept that, I guess. Assuming this worker continues to build a road, we can just pull everybody out on a whim, so I'm okay with that. It would be nice if somebody would close up this gap, though. This guy sitting here just for that one tile's useless. Oh, I guess he didn't have to while this guy was here. But we still have 4 turns, so let's just do something on this tile to bide our time. Musician's coming over. He's coming down here. And this is our caterpillar. Could land here. Under the circumstances, since we're leading, I'm okay with that rather than coming in having options, because here we can kind of secure what's going on over the next several turns. Okay, so we'll just heal him up 1 turn. Let's see, so come up here. And no barbarian camp, but it is good to know that if there was Antananarivo. Been trying to challenge myself to start actually pronouncing this crap. He says, as he calls it, this crap. That's funny. Alright, he'll come over here, get on the road, do some spying, but the range still wants to come up there. Alright, let's deal with this. Bombard only reaches him. We can count that, though, realistically. So let's do it. The only reason not to is because all the other shots might not clean up everybody here, but I think we're good as far as that goes. So we'll start from the back there. There. We'll have him capture, return. It's good that this guy's healing, so he can take the place of this guy. And then I'm just going to go ahead and take shots on the Great General. There we go. Alright, I started with him because he could still step and shoot this if we need be. So we'll pillage here and step. And we can follow with the worker. Settler. There's no reason to dangle him, realistically speaking. We would probably settle here if there's anything over here, although we do have to keep in mind the possibility of these hills. So we've already radared, so we should be safe going like that. I don't want to extend any further, though. 1 turn to get back to the road seems reasonable by comparison. Alright, so we've got Goa, and these 2 will be Braga, so I'll have him go ahead and push forward. He's going to sleep there. And this worker, we already have 2 up here, so he wants to head towards the south, right? Yeah, and maybe we capture 1 in Germany as well. That would be nice. Okay, 1 turn to go, so we're just going to hop up. Oh! As soon as I let go of the mouse, I was like, we need to radar here, but it worked in our favor, so there's that. Come over here. Alright. Get started over here. Might as well head onto the hills, I guess. So repair there. What? It says we have 8 aluminum. When the prompt came up saying we had aluminum, this was the only hex it said we had aluminum on. It said we had 8 even though it was pillaged. Now that we've restored it, we have another 8. And you can see here, -5 resources exported. So I'm hoping, for the sake of the integrity of the save file, that when those deals end, it doesn't like repopulate here. But so we have 8 aluminum we can sell. And I blanch at the thought of what kind of deal we're getting from this guy at this point. We can try 2 for 3. That's where we were before. No, what about 3 for 3? Nope. He's at rock bottom like everybody else. That sucks. Alright, so we can only sell it like this. Nobody else will give us what we want. Or, yeah. Okay, well, at least we do have a couple cities that could build hydro plants, so maybe that works out. I don't know. We should at the very least cross the river before we take time to heal. Great General comes here. He's still influencing everybody, and now he's on the road, so that makes him more flexible. Speaking of being along the road, let's have this guy come over here. I don't like the darkness over here, so maybe have him step here. Or, yeah, do a little, like, end here, do a little dance from here. Well, Zanzibar's got this covered, all this covered. I don't know. Seems like a thing to do to back him up, kind of thing. Alright, well, we are past the half-hour mark, so I'm going to end it here. I am pretty excited at the possibility of Germany actually being wiped out, but not by our hand, occupied by one of our allies, so we can get this cocoa for free, just by keeping one of them. It'll be interesting to see who gets there first. I think has more melee, but they did the retreat thing last turn, even though they got forward with one of them, so I'm not sure about that. It'll be interesting to see. Anyways, thanks for joining me. Please leave me a like and subscribe if you feel that I've earned it, and I will see you guys in the next part. Take care.